Am I the a-hole for banishing my teenage daughter's friend from our house? Because she made fun of my weight. I 37 female, have 2 kids with my husband 41 male, a 14-year-old daughter, and a 10-year-old son. Our daughter has always been a little socially awkward to the point that we've had her tested, since we suspected her of being on the spectrum. Turns out she isn't on the spectrum, she's just a natural introvert. However, this year in school, we were thrilled when our daughter made a new friend her age since that is an area in which she struggles. Long story short, she recently invited her new friend over with our approval to have dinner at our house and then spend the night. So, my daughter's friend came over. My husband is usually the cook in the family, and this night was no exception. He made us all a really nice meal. During the course of said meal, I asked my daughter's friend, "Are you enjoying the food?" She responded, "Yes. Your husband is a great cook. No wonder you've ended up a bigger woman." The room got quiet for several moments. My husband tried to laugh it off and change the subject, but I wasn't having it. The girl had just leveled a completely uncalled for insult at me. My daughter's friend seemed to realize that she'd messed up, but she didn't say anything else. We finished an awkward dinner in mostly silence, and my daughter's friend did stay the night. This was a couple of months ago. Recently, my daughter asked if she could have her friend back over, and I told her sure, if she's going to apologize to me. When her daughter asked what I meant, I reminded her of what she'd said. My daughter responded that it was over, and she didn't want to bring it up again. She then went to her father and asked. He said sure, but she then told him what I'd said. He came to me and said, "Daughter's friend just felt awkward and tried to make a joke. It didn't land. For the sake of our daughter, can't you just let it go?" Yes, I could. But the thing is that I just want an apology from the girl. I need to see that she understands how rude she was before I can get on board with her and my daughter hanging out. My husband says that I am being weird for insisting on an apology from a 14-year-old, especially since that girl is such a good friend of our daughter. I think it's weird that I'm still waiting for an apology from that same girl. Seriously, that's all I need. I just need to know that any friend of my daughter is willing to own up to her screw-ups. Am I the a-hole for sabotaging my husband's tournament after he refused to help with our newborn? My husband, Jake 30 male, and I 27 female recently welcomed our first baby, Emma, who is now 3 months old. As most new parents know, it's been a challenging time, filled with sleepless nights and endless diaper changes. I'm on maternity leave, so I'm home with Emma all day, but I still need help from Jake, especially during the night. Jake works from home and is a huge gamer. He spends most of his free time playing online games with his friends. I've tried to be understanding and give him his space, but it's been hard when he refuses to help with Emma at night. I've asked him multiple times to take turns getting up with her, but he always says he's too tired or that he has an important game. Breastfeeding has been particularly difficult. Emma often struggles to latch properly, leading to painful and sometimes cracked nipples. I've had mastitis twice already, which leaves me feeling feverish and in intense pain. Despite seeing me in pain, Jake just laughs it off, finding it amusing. He never offers to help during these moments, even though I'm visibly struggling and desperate for support. One night, after I'd been up with Emma for the 3rd time and Jake was still glued to his computer, I'd had enough. I went into his office and asked him to take over so I could get some sleep. He waved me off, saying he was in the middle of a game and that I should just handle it. He added, "You're on maternity leave and free all day while I have to work, so I need time to relax. You're just sitting around doing nothing all day anyway." I was exhausted and on the verge of tears. I needed his help, but he was completely dismissive. In a moment of frustration and desperation, I walked over to the router and turned off the Wi-Fi. That's when Jake completely lost it. He stormed out of his office, screaming at me. Apparently, he and his friends were in some sort of online tournament, and they were about to win when I unplugged the Wi-Fi. He called me selfish, irresponsible, and accused me of sabotaging his one form of relaxation. He went on to say that I had no right to interfere with his me time, and that I should have just waited until he was done. I calmly explained that I needed his help, and that our baby was more important than his game. He refused to listen and continued to berate me, adding that I haven't even been having sex with him, and that we've only had sex for times since Emma was born. He accused me of wanting to take everything away from him while doing nothing all day and sitting at home on my ass. Jake never helps during the day either, even after he finishes work at 5 p.m. I don't expect him to help during work hours, but once he's off, he should be stepping up as a parent. Instead, he goes straight to his games, leaving me to handle everything alone. Since then, he's been sulking around the house, barely speaking to me. To make matters worse, his friends have been sending me nasty messages, calling me a crazy wife and saying I'm unreasonable. One of them even suggested that Jake should leave me because I'm too demanding. I feel like I'm losing my mind here, just trying to get a bit of support. I'm exhausted, and all I wanted was for Jake to step up and be a parent too. Instead, I'm being painted as the villain for wanting help with our newborn. Am I the a-hole? Edit 1. For those saying why I married him and didn't I know this before? Jake was completely different before Emma was born. He was supportive and understanding. This behavior is new and shocking to me. Edit 2. To all those calling me the asshole, I am sorry. Your words cut deep, and I feel more hurt than I can express. I didn't turn off the Wi-Fi out of spite or because I couldn't handle my responsibilities. It was a desperate act after feeling completely unsupported and alone. I feel like I'm drowning in guilt and sadness. This time with Emma has been incredibly challenging. I'm constantly exhausted and in pain from breastfeeding. All I do is cry because I feel like such a failure. I just can't anymore. Jake works hard, and I appreciate him, but his indifference to my struggles makes me feel so isolated. I spend my days and nights in tears, wondering if I'm failing as a mother and a wife. All I've wanted is for us to share the responsibilities of parenting, especially during those late-night feedings and diaper changes that leave me feeling so drained. I've been struggling with feelings of sadness and guilt, wondering if I'm failing as a mother and a wife. It's not about controlling his downtime. It's about needing his support during this incredibly tough time. I wish you could understand the depth of loneliness and frustration I've been feeling. Your words about me being selfish and immature hit hard, because I've been questioning myself constantly. I never wanted to play the victim or make Jake out to be the bad guy. All I wanted was for us to work together as a team, like we promised each other when we decided to start a family. I'm sorry if my actions hurt anyone, including Jake and his friends. I was overwhelmed and at my breaking point. I'm trapped in a cycle of guilt, feeling like everything is my fault. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just don't know how to cope anymore. I'm not trying to be selfish, I'm just trying to survive. Edit 3. A lot of people are saying I am making breastfeeding a huge deal, and millions of moms do it too. But mastitis isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's an excruciating, throbbing pain that feels like shards of glass stabbing into my breast with every suckle. Sometimes, the pain is so intense that I cry silently while Emma feeds, and I have to bury my face in a pillow to muffle my cries because Jake has made it clear that my suffering is a nuisance to him. He says he is either working, gaming, or sleeping, so I should not disturb him. And some people are saying that even if this happens to me, then WTF should he do here? Do I expect him to grow a breast and feed Emma? But no, I am not expecting him to do that. I just want him to support me. He never offers to help during these moments, even though I'm in tears and desperately in need of support. Am I the a-hole because I, 38 female, don't want to take my stepson 9 on vacation? My husband, 39, and I have been married for 5 years. We have 2 children of our own, both girls, aged 5 and 2. I also have a son, 10, from a previous marriage, but I was widowed. My husband's ex is barely involved in stepson's life at all. They got divorced when stepson was 2, and his ex wanted a fresh start, so my husband did the decent, selfless thing and had complete custody of their son, even though he'd wanted shared custody. I got a bonus at work, and I really want to go on vacation with just my family just once. We've been on family vacations all together lots of times, but just once I want to spend my money going on vacation, where I'm not looking after someone else's kid. I want stepson to stay with his mom while we go on vacation. My husband sees my point of view and is okay with it. I don't think I'm being at all unreasonable. My mom found out what I was planning and says I'm being a complete These are the reasons she says I could be the My mom says that if stepson's mom isn't properly involved in his life, I should be even more involved in his life to compensate, I think. This is a completely unfair expectation. She also says that I'm being a hypocrite taking my son, but I think that's totally different because my son doesn't have another parent. I'm all he's got. If stepson's mom won't take him just for once, then obviously he'll come on vacation with us. But I don't think I'm the to ask if I can have a vacation with my own family just one time. It's not like I hate stepson or something. He's a nice kid, he's just not mine. Am I the update? We definitely won't be going on vacation without stepson. After a couple hours of replies, I decided to show this to my husband. We sat down and had a really long talk about it. He told me he's never been comfortable with my attitude to stepson, but didn't know how to say to me before. I don't want to be a bad person, I just never thought of stepchildren being yours. I don't think it would be easy for anyone to accept this level of criticism. But all your replies have shown me I have a lot of work to do. As many of you suggested, and so did my husband, I intend to see a therapist to help me with that. As I said, I don't hate stepson in any way. I have never been deliberately cruel to him. I've just always thought of him as my husband's child, but I realize my mindset needs to change. So I'm going to start working on that. I want my family to be the best it can be, and I need to accept that it includes my stepson. I understand that now. And I'm going to start seeing a therapist to become a better person. We've also talked about maybe having family therapy too. I've also made up with my mom, and she is 100% behind the changes I want to make in my life.